Today I raced round 3 of the Leicestershire Cyclocross League and decided that rather than using spectator footage, i.e. my dad's, I'd put the GoPro on and film that. I got a surprisingly good start, settling in 3rd behind Kate and Megan. I say surprisingly good because I accidentally clipped elbows with Megan on the start line and felt like I slowed down a bit to avoid crashing. And we went past the finish line to mark the start of the first full lap. This was a new venue organised by Martin and MI Racing, and in the rider information pack described it as a traditional cyclocross course. The course was all in this one field, with lots of twists and turns, and it was a lot longer than I expected it to be when I arrived at the venue. It kind of reminded me of the last mountain bike race of the season, with a course all in one field, and I had a good race there, so I was positive that I'd have a good race today. This video will show the first lap in full, and then edited highlights from the rest of it. I kept Megan and Kate in my sights a lot longer than I usually do, although I never ever got close to them, and I had a whole load of riders chasing me down. The ladies' race is at 10 to 12, after the youth, before all the men. However, there were masters racing here yesterday, which is why the course is already quite muddy. And it was a mix between some bits being slippy, but most of it being quite draggy. In my head, I split the course into 2 halves, separated by this bit where it crossed over the concrete track, because it looped around a lot and then crossed back to the left of it. Although this half that we're entering now felt a lot shorter and smaller, so it wasn't exactly split in half.
Not there.
I did 2 practice laps and didn't notice that hole or bump or whatever it was, but then in the race I managed to ride over it more than I managed to avoid it. This is all in normal speed, but for some reason this looks as though it's in slow motion. Was I really that slow? Whilst I got a great start, by this point on the first lap, I was already starting to struggle. I think this bit of the POV footage shows just how bad or cautious I am on corners. I really should get practicing some more. Down and up was my approach on that bit because the rider in front of me crashed in the warm-up and I didn't want to be panicking that it was too slippy. After a lot of twisting and turning, the last bit before the finish was 3 long straights. I wanted to try and speed up on this bit because I had riders behind me at this point, but they managed to stay on my wheel. My lap times got slower and slower and slower, with 40 seconds between my first lap time and my last lap time, although my 2 final laps were very similar to each other. We watched the second place rider in the youth race crash here on the last sprint, so I was taking this nice and slowly. And that was the end of lap 1, 4 laps still to go. I forget to look at the lap board for most of the laps, so I saw 3 laps to go and hoped it was 2, and then didn't look again. 11 minutes in and Kate and Megan were way ahead, although with so much zigzagging it was a bit hard to tell. 12 minutes in, I got overtaken by the rider behind me, so I was now sitting in 4th. I stayed on her wheel throughout the zigzags, and then right after the pits, I decided I'd try and get back in front.
Come on!
15.5 minutes in, and I needed some encouragement, and there's my dad. In mountain bike races, I use my Garmin bike computer so I can see the time and how long I've been racing, whereas in cyclocross I use my watch because if I'm swapping bikes I need it on me, and therefore I have no idea how long it's been. I managed to stay in front for about 3 minutes, and then the rider overtook me again, so I was back in 4th. And at this point I really had nothing else to give, so she got away quite easily.
Go, Rebecca!
So here I was sitting in 4th with a different rider behind me.
I think we'll have one more. No, I think we'll have one more after this.
We had just heard the bell for the first time as Kate went through, and that's why the rider behind me was asking whether we were finishing on that lap. And she still went for a bit of a sprint, so I don't know if she didn't believe me or she was just testing. But I wasn't going to let it stay that way for long and quickly wanted to overtake her again. My tactic on the last lap was to try and go a bit slower and save some energy for the sprint. I thought I'd try and go on the first straight of the 3 to see if it made any difference, because even if I'd got a tiny gap it would have been helpful for the final sprint. And I really expected the rider behind me to overtake me about here. After the final corner, it was time to go flat out. I accidentally unclipped at one point along here, but seemed to be going okay still. But I didn't quite make it to the line before getting overtaken, so in the end I finished 5th. Well done to everyone else who raced, and thank you to the organisers. Thanks for watching, bye!